This episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our family of podcasts, head over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia or search for us on the Patreon app on your smart device. Thanks for helping us build something better. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrick, and alongside me, as always, is a PC muscle race himself, Laurent Dawkins.
What's poppin'?
How's Metroid Fusion, Laurent?
I'm trying to install it right now.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Wouldn't be a new Metroid release without Laurent doing it on the podcast. It's fun.
Look, man, why you got to blast me like that?
Because it's what I do. It's Wednesday. It's got to be that way.
Hey! If they keep dropping Nintendo titles, if they keep dropping Metroid titles on, on the Switch, I'm going to just eat them up.
That's fair. It's fair. You do you, my friend. Also joining us,
bring me that Metroid Zero Mission and bring me that Samus Returns.
Zero Mission's coming soon. I'm telling you. Port of the 3DS game version of Metroid 2 would be great. Also joining us is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
Here and paying attention to the podcast and not playing my Nintendo Switch.
Hey,
makes one of us.
Hey, what is that with that shade?
Hey, look, Laurent's got some Metroiding to do. I've got some farming to do in Disney Dreamlight Valley. That's how it works. This is life.
All right, so it's just going to be the guest and I talking. So speaking of guest, Corey.
Yeah, speaking of guests, we have a very special guest tonight. He is the CEO of Steam Deck HQ, a very prominent Steam Deck website that you should definitely check out. Also has some really cool merch that Stephanie has hanging in the background if you're watching the video version. Noah Kupetsky, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
This is awesome. How are you doing? How I know you are quite busy playing some Call of Duty.
Trying to.
Yeah.
It took about 4 hours for the download to go through. And I basically tried it for about 30 minutes and then I wrote 2 different articles and then I'm here.
Nice.
So not nearly as much testing as I would have liked to do yet, but I'll be getting to it.
It's fine. It's okay. If you're like any of us, you'll probably just be playing games after this show's over anyway. Or maybe even during. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, I don't know if I'll do it during, but after.
Nobody's playing games during the show.
Definitely not Metroid.
Nobody's doing that. As I look at my Switch sitting here right on the desk.
Yep. So Noah, tell us about you and what you're doing with Steam Deck HQ. It's a really cool website. I would really like our website to look like that at some point.
It's wicked smart.
I know ours looks like it's from 2009, which is fine.
You've got that old style aesthetic. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's fair,
it's
but
classic.
your website looks sexy and
cool. Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say this looks sexy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I wish I could take credit for that one, but I actually have a web developer who put it together. I worked with him closely. He deserves the credit for it. He's an absolute wizard. I don't know how he has that kind of how he's able to do anything.
Thanks to your website, I now know Dealfield Chronicle has removed Denuvo, which means I can now play it because it was running like absolute garbage when it was on.
I have not seen many games that have actually removed Denuvo. So I thought that was pretty significant. I haven't tested how the performance is or the performance change on it because I did review Dealfield last year, but it's pretty significant that they removed it in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess why obviously Steam Deck is a hit, right? Or else, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this, but why Steam Deck? Did you just obviously everybody's always looking for the next big thing to capitalize on if you're going to go niche and not that Steam Deck is niche, but the what do you call it? Would you call it a console? The handheld itself is.
I would call it a portable PC. just because I, thanks to the website, I look at things a little bit more technically. So I like to differentiate because it is a full computer. Like
Mhm.
you can turn it into a desktop computer really easily. And I write like through the desktop mode, half the articles and reviews I write are from my Steam Deck.
Yeah, that's
Seriously? Wow.
Nice, nice.
that. What do you do?
I
Then
have,
put it. What do
Respect.
you dock it and hook up like a Bluetooth keyboard
no,
to it or something?
I have, of course, I only have one dock here, whereas my 7 other ones are over there. But like, I just hook it up to one of these,
Um,
and
Oh, okay.
there's a bunch of USB slots in the
yeah.
back. I have a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse that
Hmm.
goes in through a USB dongle, and I just pack it all with me in my backpack, and I bring it.
Nice.
That's awesome. Man. So yeah. Anyways, Steam. So what enticed you to start doing stuff with the Steam Deck in terms of building a website and writing articles and reviews and all that stuff? I mean, we kind of do that at Boss Rush with like the console side, but like everybody has a console website at this point, right? Like you really got to work hard to make yours stand out. And
Mhm.
Steam Deck still relatively new, but Steam's been around forever. Like is this just something that you just went for and like, okay, nobody's really doing Steam Deck stuff yet, I'm gonna just do it?
Well, so I guess I'll talk about what first drew me to the Steam Deck. Uh, for the longest time, I've always been like a PC gamer first and foremost, but there's always something about handheld gaming that just makes games feel so much more worthwhile to play. Like being able to
Mhm.
take it wherever you go, and it was just so enticing. I remember, loving my Game Boy Advance, my DS, DSi, 3DS, and then I got a Switch, and I loved that it was starting to bring over a console-like experience to the portable to handheld devices.
Mhm.
And as soon as the Steam Deck was announced, I think it was announced actually the day after, or I think it was announced the same day the OLED Switch
Mhm.
went on sale.
Mhm.
And I bought it, and then I saw the Steam Deck, and I was like, "Crap! I'm about to buy another $600 device. Why
Mhm.
would I do that?" Right after the OLED, and I love my OLED. I love the screen, but like right afterwards, I was hooked. Especially once I could bring over my 4,000 game library over to the Steam Deck
Right.
without buying anything else.
See,
That was
that is the
really,
incentive.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it was great.
that's yeah, and that would be like the big draw for a PC gamer, right? Is that
Mhm.
it's essentially like what Xbox is trying to do with their cloud gaming stuff, except it doesn't work great, at least
Yeah.
where I'm at. But I would love some sort of portable device that I could bring my Xbox library with me, right? Because that's the
Mhm.
console I play primarily, right? Is Xbox, unless I'm
Mhm.
traveling, obviously. Like I love my Switch too, right? Like Zelda's coming out soon. I'm very excited for that.
Oh, can't wait for that.
But I think over time, as we've been doing the Boss Rush stuff, I've transitioned away from like the Nintendo primary console to the Xbox, just because I do like the Xbox experience a lot,
Mhm.
except like I can only play on my TV after my wife and kids go to bed, and so it's very hard for me to like play a lot of games and really, while they're awake or whatever, because of that, and I have to
Mhm.
turn to my Switch. So like portable gaming is becoming a bigger, I would say, factor for me, at least, in trying to get some sort of game time in.
Mhm.
um so yeah, have you played around with like any of the, I know that Steam Deck is kind of an open platform. Have you played around with like switching operating systems or moving between?
So I have played around with like putting Windows on there. It works, and it's gotten a lot more stable since they first brought out the drivers to make putting Windows OS on there compatible. But it's still, to me, it doesn't compare to the experience that Steam OS brings because of those features that Valve has baked into that operating system, like the system-wide FSR. I think
Mhm.
that's an ingenious move, and that's probably why, like some of the biggest games that have just released, like Wolong,
Hmm.
I want to say that's probably one of the only reasons why it's able to run as well as it does without completely draining the battery.
Mm.
It's impressive that they thought of adding it in so that these big games can play. And right now, I'm still working on trying to get Returnal working, and FSR is a big component in being able to save on that GPU load that's causing most of the issues.
Yeah.
Um, and it's still feasible. Like, I know Windows is really the only way you're going to be able to play like Game Pass games natively, like downloading them. It's the
Hmm.
only way you're going to be able to do it because it's not compatible with Linux or SteamOS yet.
Hmm.
And with Windows on there, now you open the possibility of Windows only games like Dead by Daylight or Destiny 2 being able to play them on the console. But to me, the pros don't outweigh the cons when it comes to switching the OS.
Hmm.
At least not yet.
Yeah, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head because, like, I obviously, being an Xbox player, I have Game Pass, and I'm a huge
Hmm.
Destiny player, and like those are the two things I would probably want to play the most since I don't have a since I think I own like 5 games on Steam,
Yeah.
and 2 of them were gifted to me, and one's free to play. So you know,
I can understand. I would say the biggest thing, like, you can play your Game Pass games on the Steam Deck. It's just going to be through streaming.
mm,
Yep.
So
yeah, I
if
don't want to do
so
that.
that's going to be, especially if you're playing at home and you just can't use the TV, being able
Hmm.
to stream through xCloud and stream the Game Pass games works really well.
I
So
don't have
that
extensive
would be.
experience, but I did write a how-to article on that, Corey, if you've read it.
I did, but my problem is I don't like streaming, especially when I'm playing something like Destiny that requires a
Okay,
lot of, you
That
know,
one I completely understand. It's why I
fair.
generally don't play Game Pass games. I'll usually rebuy the games or I'll buy the games on Steam because a lot of the Xbox exclusives are coming to Steam as well.
Wait,
So
are the wait, is Destiny is Destiny only playable as a stream game?
it's
it's
only
not available on.
playable. It's
Oh, go
only
ahead.
sorry. I'm sorry. It's only playable on Windows. Bungie has not enabled the anti cheat to work with Linux or
Oh, that's why. That's why.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing that's going on right now. And one of my good friends made a change.org petition to get Bungie to reconsider, to see that there is demand for it. But
Hmm.
I
Oh my
don't
gosh.
I have some mixed feelings on it
If
Mm.
if man, if
personally.
they put if Destiny could run natively on the Steam Deck, I would have had one 3 months ago. I'm not even kidding. Like
I think there's a lot of people who would say that. Like, I find it very hard to believe that Bungie does not know or does not see the demand. Like, I
I
cannot fathom a world where they don't.
yeah,
Oh,
I
they see
mean,
it. They see it.
yeah. Well, I don't know if they do. As somebody who covers Destiny pretty heavily, like I just they have a PC audience, and that PC audience is pretty hardcore, but I don't think the PC audience is as big as everyone thinks it is. I think that and I know their concurrents on Steam have been pretty high since Lightfall came out,
Mhm.
but I think the people that are playing Destiny want that mouse and keyboard support and the screen in their face. I don't know if those players really want the handheld experience, whereas like I would like to grind some strikes and some, maybe some gambit or something just to rank up and some stuff and power level when I have free time because
Mhm.
like, if I'm sitting on the couch waiting for something to happen, like I would like to play some Destiny, but I can't because TV's in use, right? Because, you know, Daniel
Mhm.
Tiger and Mickey Mouse get prioritized screen time. Uh,
Honestly, I prioritize them as well, but that's a different story. I, I think that I think Bungie does know. They have made statements about the Steam Deck before because in the
mhm,
beginning a lot of people were calling for it, and they did mention it. There's also specifically BattleEye support for Linux and Proton that they just really need to flick the switch, and they haven't done that
mhm.
yet. I
I
think I think there's something else. I think there's another reason that they can't. And while I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to assume it's something
I
malicious, or maybe they just don't have the resources to get ready for a Linux, like integrating more heavily from Linux. they have a Linux build, or they did have one of the game already.
Mhm.
So it would be just a simple move. I think there's
Yeah.
a reason for it.
Well, a lot of people that don't play Destiny probably don't know this, but it still runs on the Halo Reach engine, and it's all the spaghetti code that just is like bubblegum and taped together, like, and I know that they're when the final shape hits next February, presumably, they
Mhm.
have three things that are happening with that. One of them is Project Goliath, which we're assuming is all of the previous content coming back into the fold after the final shape. And another one of them is they're moving whatever's after the final shape to a new engine, which would theoretically be built to support Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And then therefore, hopefully, put some sort of new anti-cheat thing that Steam Deck supports.
Well, the thing is, it's not even new anti-cheat that it needs. The anti-cheat that's there does support Proton and Linux, and all they'd have to do is really just flick a switch. It's kind of like easy anti-cheat, where it is just you send an email to Epic and they'll just
Mm-hmm.
turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't think that like moving to a new engine is going to change their Linux support. It could, and I would love to see it. But like they did have a Linux build since the game ran through Stadia, and
Mm-hmm.
Stadia was Linux-based servers. So
That's
they had to
true.
have
It
a
did run
Linux
through.
version of the game running and running
Yeah.
effectively to be used with Stadia, and it was like one of their flagship titles.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
I think there's something else. And it again, not assuming, I don't think it's anything malicious, but I feel like there's something else that they just can't say or that they aren't telling us yet. And that's going to inhibit Destiny running on the Steam Deck natively, at least for right now.
All right, I have one more major question for you before somebody else talks.
Sorry.
Sorry, I
I,
just keep
I, I tend to ramble a lot, so I apologize.
No, this is good. This is good. I mean, it's a podcast, so if we weren't talking, that would be a bad show.
It's fair.
Convince me as a console gamer
Hmm.
why I need to have a Steam Deck. I am invested in two, kind of three ecosystems already,
Hmm.
right? I don't play PC games. I don't have a huge Steam library. What would you say to entice a console player besides the handheld aspect to own a Steam Deck?
Well, the handheld aspect's a big one, but
Yeah.
I would say, and knowing you play Switch, I think that's a pretty big selling point too. I guess the other big one would be you'll be overall saving an incredible amount of money. Now, when it comes to like buying games on Steam and PC in general, there are significantly larger sales and opportunities to save money on games compared to other major consoles. For instance, or on top of that, there are bundles like Humble Bundle, where they will actually group together games. Like they have a monthly bundle there that I've been using since they introduced the monthly, like years and years ago. I love it. It's $12 and you're getting a significantly good value. It's like $300 or $400 MSRP, and you're paying $12 to get all of them. And these games can be like ones that were released in the last year. They can be very recent. On top of that, they have all these other little bundles. Like there's a new one for International Women's Day, and in that bundle, it's $15. They have Control Ultimate Edition, which is a $40 experience, and that alone makes the bundle worth it. They got 7 other games like Sable, Hellblade, and it's phenomenal. So all of that together, you're going to be saving a lot of money and being able to build up your game library.
That is such a good point, Noah, because that's part of what drove me. Like, I actually reserved my Steam Deck immediately too after the announcement. I'm a console gamer, but there's something to be said about like all these games that can be available via one library if you're a PC gamer.
Mhm.
But like, I just couldn't justify, like consoles and like a really nice high functioning PC. Maybe some can. I just don't have the budget for it. Like I couldn't even
That's
afford
fair.
like all three consoles at one point. I had to unfortunately get rid of one. Um so I like the portability, and I love the fact that, okay, I love my Nintendo, I love my Sony IPs, like the exclusives for the two ecosystems. But then I felt like the PC portion is the part that eludes me, and so the Steam Deck not only is portable, but it provides the games I can get through PC at a more affordable rate. Like I don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a fancy PC. No offense, it's just kind of it's anyway. But that's just kind of Laurent. Don't shake your head. Don't shake your head, Laurent. I think you're on mute.
Laurent's muted. Yep,
Oh.
you're muted.
How did I get muted?
Oh, there you
I
are.
muted you because you were like playing the bongos on your keyboard, and I couldn't hear Noah.
Click clack.
Oh,
Click
okay,
clack.
my bad, because Noah was talking about a lot of stuff, and I was frantically looking for all this stuff that he was talking about, but why I was shaking my head is like it was actually a head shaking agreement, Stephanie, because like trust me, I just bought a 3090. I'm still a generation behind, but that's a $1,600 graphics card.
Mhm.
And you bought a $600 handheld that plays all those freaking games with not too many hiccups. Like I gotta drop the damn thing in my system, then I gotta tweak it, and play around with it and all this stuff, and it's already optimized and ready to go for you guys. So I will say this, like it's entry level for PC gaming, if
Yes.
anything, and like Noah says, like with all these freaking like man, like on the humble bundle, like yeah, spend $12 a month for the choice. Like I mean, like Stephanie, I didn't I give you like a handful of games off my choice because I already had them. Like I gave you Mass Effect,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Legendary Edition, which is playable on the Steam Deck.
Mhm.
But insane too. I love the Mass Effect trilogy, and being able to play that on. I was hoping for years that EA would bring it to the Steam Deck, and then when Legendary Edition, I was praying that they would announce that there was a Switch version. Nope,
Mhm.
nothing. Being able to play
Yeah,
on the
Just
Steam
trust
Deck,
me, people are butthurt about it not being on the Switch. People are butthurt.
Look, as a huge Nintendo fan, not surprised that EA didn't port a game to the Switch. That's all I'm saying. Not
but
shocked.
I will say, since it was brought up, the Steam Deck is, I would say, probably the best hub for any games overall. It is really the game center for every game ever released on any console.
No, you're right. I mean, what's really
Great for
missing,
emulation.
Noah? Like, maybe Nintendo IPs because Nintendo doesn't like to share. Other than that,
Well, the good thing about that is Nintendo also uses pretty dated hardware, meaning that if you have the games and you're able to dump them, that you can legally emulate them on the console, and the Steam Deck can handle all Nintendo games up to the Switch. There are Switch games that are running on there really well, and I have a jailbroken Switch, and I dump my bot games, but it's surprising how well it handles it, and I've been able to play these big Nintendo IPs all on the same device. On top of that, like PS3 games are starting to get a little bit more playable on the Steam Deck and much better than it used to be. Like I'm surprised that you can like I was watching someone play Demon Souls on it. I was shocked. And of course, Xbox is already integrating the new PlayStation games. PlayStation's taking a pretty heavy stance towards bringing their IPs to PC. Like The Last of Us is coming this month. So really, the Steam Deck is also going to be kind of a hub where you can play all these games. If you can, legally emulate, of course. Nintendo games, Xbox already natively puts their games on Steam. PlayStation is bringing their stuff over pretty quickly. It's impressive that it's like kind of a home for everything. Like there is no such exclusivity on PC gaming in general, but on the Steam Deck, you're bringing it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I like to highlight.
Oh my god, you give me FOMO now because I don't have one, and I've been wrestling with myself about whether I should or should not get one. And
you of all people are the person that should have one out of the three of us.
I know, but the problem is, like, right when I said I'm ready to get a Steam Deck, they turn around and say, "Oh, Steam Deck 2 is in development." I was like, "Oh shit, let me wait."
Don't listen to that. I actually just wrote an article about it. They had Lawrence Yang and Pierre, who are both engineers and developers at Valve who worked on the Steam Deck had an interview on Rock Paper Shotgun, and at the end of it, it was like one sentence, and it was right at the end, and I'm surprised that wasn't capitalized on more. They went on to say there is no next generation Steam Deck, at least for the next few years.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
And I
Good to
wanted
know.
to highlight that too. There's so many people who talk about like the next hardware revision for the Steam Deck or like Steam Deck killers. And I personally have issues with that because it kind of diminishes, what's in front of us right now. And especially with that comment, it's essentially saying, they're talking about something that's not for a few years out, and people might be missing out on something pretty amazing.
So
Yeah.
here I am back on the landing page for the Steam Deck on Steam now. I'm spending that $650. Like, I'm gonna have to sweet talk a few people. Hey Corey, what's going on, man?
You gonna pay for my PAX trip, LeRon?
I know a certain college professor. I might be able to sweet talk.
Oh no.
But yeah, I mean, I think for the money that you're paying, you're getting a device that you can bring with you where you have the ability to play any game across any console to some degree without much of a hassle. And on top of all the games that we just talked about, if you really want just free games in general, you can put on the Epic Game Store and play games through Epic, and they give new free games every week.
Mhm.
So like you're able to build up your PC library with just $100. You could probably like you said you have like 5 games on Steam. You could probably get to at least 50 or 60 easily, just from Humble Bundles, the free games from Epic, and the deals that come out, and on top of emulation, which thousands if you decide to go to the retro consoles and Game Boy Advance and all those.
And PC gaming deals are insane. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
So I would say it's worth it just for the amount of money you're going to be saving. And if and you can also buy the base version if you want to not spend $600 on the 512 gigabyte. You could buy the $400 base version. And Valve has like how-to manuals on how to open it up. You can take out the SSD inside and put in a new one as long as it's the same form factor, and really expand it without needing to spend the initial $650 if you're like not 100% into it, but you like the idea. You just don't want to spend, that much money.
Yeah.
At least in the initial.
Oh, well, I mean, if I got one, I would get the best available one. I'm not gonna,
That's fair. That's what I did.
Hey, I got the little guy because I can't afford.
I know, but it would really bother me that I knew there was something better out there.
But I got an SD card and I took care of it, so it's all good.
There's still something better out there.
It's also a good like workout. Do arm curls.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's a bit big, but I get it. It's like you said, it is a portable PC, so I got to keep that in mind that it's not like the Switch. It's light like a feather for a reason.
Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's too big or too heavy, at least for me, but you can definitely feel it if you're comparing the two.
Oh, that's the thing, yeah.
I would say maybe the only knock I would have against it right now is the screen. I really do wish the screen was OLED. It is a night and day difference. Like I just got the Nreal glasses, which are these augmented reality glasses that you can actually plug into the Steam Deck and it'll project the screen in your eyes. And they use OLED in there, and it's a night and day difference. Like I remember using it for the first time, then taking them off, going back to my deck, and just kind of feeling sad. I was just like a little bit sad. And luckily there are plugins as well, like Decky Loader, which is a plugin framework you can inject into it pretty easily. They have a plugin where you can increase the vibrancy of the overall UI and screen, and it translates into games, and it gets really close to like what the color contrast looks like for OLED. So at least they have that.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushMedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support. Cool. Well, thank you for educating us on, well, me, I guess, on the Steam Deck. And I don't know, I'm going to put a pin in it because there's a lot of other things coming up that I need to pay for, like maybe a house soon. But
that might be a little bit more important.
Yeah.
Your real house, not your fantasy Disney Dreamlight Valley house. By the way.
Yeah, for real.
Nope.
Which
Fully
runs
got the best
on
one
the
there.
Steam Deck.
It does? Does it run great?
It runs decently. When I got it when it first came out and I played it, and I was able to play comfortably at 30, and 40 was a little bit of a stretch, but it was possible. Though by now the shader cache has come out and there's been updates, so I'm sure it runs better. But it was playable for sure.
Great, because it runs like trash on the Switch.
Yeah,
but it runs great on Xbox Series X and S. So
it will definitely be a better experience in the Switch. I can guarantee that.
Great. It's pretty bad on the Switch. Although they put a patch out and it runs better, but still, when I'm trying to plant more than like 5 crops, sometimes it hard locks and I have to restart.
No, you'll definitely have a better experience on the deck.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. We are, thank you for joining us 34 minutes into the show.
Sorry. Like I said, I ramble. I remember you asked me about why I started Steam Deck HQ, and I didn't even touch on that.
Yeah, why did you start let's go there. Why did you start Steam Deck HQ?
So I got my Steam Deck in May, and I loved it. And being a PC gamer already, I was accustomed to always configuring already. That's something that I do just on my PC. I always under configure because I don't want to push my desktop PC that hard. Even though I have like a 3080, I've got the parts, I got the power. I just don't like utilizing it all that much. I always like to save it just in case. So it's something I was always accustomed to. And then seeing that, I started getting into the Steam Deck subreddit because I was so excited for the device and I had been following it for a while. And I learned about ShareDeck, which is another site that is very community driven or completely community driven, where people can post their own builds, their own collection of settings to make games run the way that they say it'll run with those settings. And I remember on that site seeing two setting lists for Horizon Zero Dawn, which said they were able to play the game at 40 frames per second smoothly with a TDP limit of 8, which absolutely insane. That's not easy. That was very hard to do, and definitely not a TDP of 8, especially at like the medium preset that they said they could use. So I started to see that pop up a little bit more. I think it's gotten better now, but I started to see that a little bit more, where they were just posting these kinds of claims, and it couldn't be verified because it was all community driven. So I was like, wouldn't it be great if someone would actually just test these games? So I thought about that for a little bit, but the real kicker was actually the Steam Deck verified system just not being super accurate. Like, yes, it's good to see which games are verified and which aren't, and some of them are really great, but there are games that were unsupported or marked unsupported that work flawlessly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the longest time, Resident Evil 3, the remake, was marked as unsupported, yet I was playing it perfectly on the Steam Deck without really any sort of changes. Like, that engine is incredible, by the way. I'm very excited for the Resident Evil 4 remake. But it was I saw like some of these issues that, like, where a community could just post whatever they wanted, and Valve, their testing was very closely guarded. It's not really transparent. I don't know how they test. And I started to see those cracks, like Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. Like, that entire collection is verified. But number 2 specifically has insane graphical artifacting when trying to use like half of the moves that you can. Like, it makes the game unplayable. Like, you can't really enjoy it. And why it's verified? There's no reason. That should be an unsupported game because you can't really play it. So seeing those, and I had spent also like about a month trying to get Kingdom Hearts running on the Steam Deck. and I was able to get it. And Kingdom Hearts 3 was like a crapshoot, and I figured it out by just some sheer luck. But I love doing it, so I decided to. That's what started me on the role of creating Steam Deck HQ. I also had it in my mind that like if I was going to do as well, I'd want to try creating multiple different lists of settings so that people can pick and choose like if they want to focus on saving as much battery life as possible, if they want to focus on like frame rate, because for some like first person shooters you want the extra frame rate. It's almost a necessity for most of them, like Doom or Produce. And also give a build for like quality if people want to push the visual fidelity to the highest that they possibly can, without all of this, while keeping in mind that you're not going to completely burn out the Steam Deck. And I think that's something that I still don't really see many people take into consideration, is that portability factor, the battery life, and trying to keep the deck surviving for as long as possible, which, as someone who loves portability, is something that I tend to prioritize with all my builds. So that's kind of how it started, and now it's something that I didn't expect it to be.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah, that is awesome.
I'm that's exciting and also kind of jealous, but that's okay. It's cool. Uh,
No, I mean, I'm genuinely surprised. Like I had a feeling it was going to be like moderately popular after seeing like how well Share Deck was doing, and then there's other competitors like Gaming on Linux, who does his own stuff, and
mhm.
mainly works with Steam Deck now, and Steam Deck Life, and they're incredible as well. But like being like I made a post today about just how insane that rise has been, and I compared using that same website, using SimilarWeb. I compared like the public statistics of my website versus theirs, and I was shocked to see how much higher it was, like compared to them. I'm blown away by that. And it's and having these insane opportunities, like working with Square Enix and Koei Tecmo. Like I was
Nice.
able to review Long, prior
Wow.
to release, and same with Fatal Frame. And it's been such an insane experience. And then there's PAX and E3, and and of course, we just announced a partnership with a prominent Steam Deck YouTuber who makes a set of tools that I think everyone should
Ooh.
use when it comes to games that uh, are hard locked or via performance with memory issues. So it's been pretty. I'm I'm blown away by the reception and the support from everyone, and it's hard to put into words sometimes, because I never would.
So not only did I bookmark your page like 15 minutes ago, now your page is added to my home screen.
Well, thank you.
Wow,
I'm
you just found a way for me to frivolously spend money because I guess I know what I'm doing for myself for my birthday.
well. I did come on here to convince someone, so
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'll
it's like
take one.
okay, you might not have got Corey, but well, I mean, I was practically like 1 foot in the door anyway, so like this is just like no, get out there.
Hey, a win's a win. I'm not gonna switch.
Win's a win.
Here's the thing. If money was no object, I would have had one already. Let's be clear about that. It's,
Mm.
prioritizing other things. Plus, like, between this podcast and our Nintendo podcast and the Destiny podcast that I run, like, there's probably better than we do that prioritizing stuff for a business is, that's got to take precedent than, oh,
Mhm.
looky, a new toy to play with that I will probably never use, but I have the money to buy it. So,
Oh no,
also, I
I
think,
totally get it. Especially nowadays. I'm running like there are so many things that I have to do. Like even today, I still have about 6 or 7 games on my review docket that are just keys that were sent to me, and there's still some that are coming in.
hmm,
It's a lot.
Wow.
It is, and I totally get prioritizing. I believe that like any gamer, if you are someone who likes to play games, the Steam Deck should definitely be at the top of your list.
Yeah.
It's almost invaluable just as a gaming device, being able to do what you can do with it thanks to emulation and saving
Mhm.
money on just a plethora of games that, again, with backwards compatibility as well, you're able to play games that were released on Steam in 2004.
Yeah,
Like,
I
Right.
think Valve
yeah.
did it right. And I don't usually buy new things like day one or generation one, but like I
Mhm.
see this being like an actual long lasting success over. I forgot what the latest example was. Was it Linux?
Stadia,
No, not Stadia. Linux. They're like, oh, we came out with a handheld, but it's only cloud gaming.
Oh, the
um,
Logitech?
the
Logitech,
Yeah,
Logitech.
the
sorry,
Logitech.
sorry. It
Yeah,
was like I'm like
It's
not
Logitech.
Linux. I know it
fully
began with an
cloud.
L.
Yeah.
Logitech, like looks
No,
cool, but
it's Android based, but
yeah,
it's all cloud.
exactly.
Well, you know,
Gosh.
Stephanie, I don't think I ever asked you this question, Stephanie. What made you decide to get the Steam Deck? Because you were an early adopter, technically.
Oh yeah, I pre-ordered. That's either that same day it was announced or within that week after
Yeah,
hemming and hawing
yeah.
about because I also ordered the Steam Deck, so money. Um, it was the fact that I always kind of looked at PC gamers, but I'm like, I don't think I could ever be a PC gamer. But I always see like Steam having like these great sales on these really amazing games. It could
Hmm.
be because I start off as like a little Zelda Nintendo only fan, and I really want to expand my gaming horizons in the most efficient way possible. And by getting Nintendo Switch, PS5, Xbox Series X, and a gaming PC was not financially sustainable for me. So when I saw Steam Deck come out, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is a hybrid of like my two favorite things. The portability, which for example, my Nintendo Switch, I now play way more handheld than I do dock, just personal preference, and access to Steam library. I felt like once I have Steam library and Nintendo, I feel like I have access to like 99% of the games that are out there. So that's what said, you know what? I'm going to get I felt like getting the Steam Deck would kinda complete my gaming experience in affordable manner.
Well, no. Like the hardware, I think is the biggest is the hardest level of entry. Like the hardware itself, like spending money on it, like and whether you spend the $400 for it or the 530. I feel like I'm a freaking salesperson for this thing right now. It's crazy. I don't have one, but whether you spend the $400 for it, the 530 for the mid grade model, the 650 for the high end model, and stuff like that, that's your biggest roadblock right there. But once you get that, you're on your way. You
Well,
know.
that and I'm just not a tech person. Like if you're a PC gamer and you know how to work around a PC, the world's your oyster. You can plug and play and adjust. I don't have that gift. I'm sorry. That's why
Mhm.
I just got attached to consoles because it's plug and play. And Steam Deck's kind of like that, but with the ability to customize if you want. And that's where I'm like, well, I'm an early adopter of the Steam Deck, so I'm gonna be that person on Boss Rush that writes about the Steam Deck. And I put out a couple articles like how to install um, the Xbox cloud gaming. And let me tell you, Noah, when I first went to desktop mode, I was terrified. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't like break this thing.
She was
I
because
was freaking
you were
out.
trying to yeah because what was it you're trying to play Monster Hunter with it, right?
Yes, yeah, I
Yes.
struggled. Yeah.
It
Well,
was fun though. It was fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once I kind
I
of
get
got
the
over the hiccups, you know.
I have one question for you, and this is more of a very selfish question. Is Dead Space playable yet? Dead Space
it
remake playable yet?
it
Huh?
actually is. I would say it's way more playable than I expected, even when it first released. I was shocked that it was actually in. It was a weird one because there were spots where it would dip, but for in most spots it was actually able to get up to 60, and I
Mm.
was blown away by that.
Oh, I can play it in 30, 40, 45
No,
frames per second if it's
if
on the
you
handheld.
if you limit to 30, yeah, playable easily.
Yeah, if it's
If
on
you
the
under
handheld, I can play in 30.
Though I believe it's one of those games I need to look back into because the shader cache came out for it, and um,
Yes.
Mm.
a lot of times that will boost performance. Um, I'm sure by now like 40 frames per second is very possible without breaking the
Yeah.
system. But yes, if you're going to play at 30 and you're fine playing at 30, it's playable, hands down.
I already
Yeah,
wasted
there.
shader caching joke last week with Kara. I feel like I can't.
Yes, you
say it
did.
again.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
So, oh man, good times.
Man, we could talk. We could talk all night about this. Like,
I mean, we
screw those
can.
other topics. Screw those other.
I mean,
Because like I do not need to impulse buy. Like, I need to. Whenever I've always told myself, whenever I spend more than $200 on something, I always sit there and just weigh it out, because
Fair.
you never know. And it's not like I'm just some broke ass motherfucker or something like that. But you never know when you spend that $200+. Like, the next day something could go wrong, and you're like, man, I needed that money.
No, hey, money is money. It doesn't matter if you got a lot of it or not. It's still money. I totally. No, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
You better be my best friend. I'm putting you in my Twitter circle.
That's why I came on here.
My Twitter circle does not have adult content, by the way, so you don't need to be afraid.
that's questionable. Ron likes to post shirtless pics of himself after he works out. So fat. Look at my guns and my pecs. Oh, I'm so sweaty from working out.
Flabby right now. They're so flabby right now. Don't even.
Let me take it at this angle where I look better and the sun's glistening off my
body.
I'll
do that.
Hey, no shame in that. You know your angles.
Yeah. My angle is dark with, something to
no
cry
light. It's the outline of a pillow.
That's fine. Yeah. Paper bag with holes cut out.
By the way, Corey, I'm sorry if I think I'm probably low key hurt your feelings the other night.
Probably. I don't know. What did you do?
When we were talking about sleeping arrangements for PAX, and I was like, you sound, you look like you're a snorer. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I don't remember. It's fine.
Stephanie, honestly, you kind of remember how he kind of like replied to that question, right?
When you were texting me? Oh, I was just joking around. I snore like a motherfucker. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I just learned recently that I snore. For the longest time, I thought I didn't, but apparently I do. And
that's why when anybody ever offers me to like stay in their hotel room or stay over, I'm like, I don't think so. And most of it is like, I snore, and sometimes when I'm dead tired, it gets louder. Sometimes when I'm not that tired, it doesn't happen at all. But just to play safe, I don't want to put anybody through any kind of like, oh, that fucker's snoring, I can't fucking sleep.
See, I went the safe route. I actually got an Airbnb for me and my crew.
Oh,
so
nice.
we all have our own separate rooms, and
that's nice.
I mostly did that for my own protection. I really don't want to snore and get them pissed.
I should look up an Airbnb.
That was the first thing I did. Like those, I like hotels, and obviously the hotels are going to be closer, but I don't mind. And I was looking up the distance from the center. It's going to be like 15 minutes, I want to say.
Oh, are you like in the Alston, Brighton, Braintree, Quincy, like any of those neighborhoods?
It's possible. I honestly don't remember.
Sorry. Just because I'm in the area. Let me know. And Corey, let me know. I'll tell you the best neighborhoods that make it easy for you to get to the convention center. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
I already booked it, but
oh well, yeah.
Maybe for next year if we get invited back.
I was talking to my boss who is from that area as well. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to go, but it's like really expensive, and like I'm still trying to look for something cheaper. And he's like, oh, you should just he's like, you should stay somewhere that's on the T train line, and you could ride the train into the city. I'm like, okay.
The red line.
That's smart.
You're welcome.
I'm hoping Uber is aplenty there.
Yeah.
Or at least enough.
No, as long as like you're within the city area, greater Boston area, you're fine. Once you get into the burbs where I live, like I'm 50 minutes from the city, you will not find an Uber driver anywhere. But as long as you're close to the city, you're fine.
I would say I'm hopeful because again I'm like 15 minutes away from the center. In the what direction? West.
It's all right. You know what? You've got.
I'll look it up because I won't. I should probably know.
You gotta hook up. As long as some of your friends can fit in the trunk, because I only have a sedan. But if you're in a pinch,
yeah.
I was also thinking about driving because it's way cheaper, but I don't know if my car, like my car bothers me. Like as my car gets older, it like bothers me. I'm worried about like not making it there or
Listen,
making it home.
all cities suck to drive in, but Boston really sucks to drive in.
I know.
I
I
do
did
not
it.
recommend it.
I did it the last 2 times I was there, and it was.
Did you hate it?
I kind of hated it, but
Yeah.
like I could look. Driving in New York is worse than driving in Boston, though. So
Anything in New York is worse, though. Come on, that's an unfair
Driving in
comparison.
New York has to
Also-
be near impossible, but
Yeah.
let me tell you about driving in LA. 'Cause that's
Ooh.
fun.
no, you're just sitting there going 5 miles an hour. It should be easy.
No, here's the problem though. That part is easy. The part that makes it hard is that everyone else in California does not know how to drive.
Ooh.
That's where it starts getting difficult. Like I've
That's
been
fair.
I've been cut off way too many times driving down the 101. And I also learned recently that most people don't call freeways like the and then the number. They'll usually say, the number or highway or something like that. I think it's a California thing. As far as I know.
California. Weirdos
But I
out
grew up
west.
Oh, thanks.
welcome.
Anyways, yeah. I
It's
take it a little personally, but it's okay.
It's fine. You'll get over it. It's fine. You have a successful website. Smile.
But no, I'll let you.
Did we ask the question like how long has your website been around? Did we ask that question?
I don't think so, but I started it mid-June of last year, so it's been about
Oh wow, okay,
8 or 9 months. Has it? Yeah, no. Like I think this is its 9th month now. So
good shit.
No, I was celebrating here because being accepted as press for E3 after not being active for more than a year, to me that's a huge achievement. So I'm still celebrating that today. I'm gonna go get ice cream after this.
Nice. Cheers to that.
I'm trying not to eat terribly, but it's not working.
See, I'm trying not to as well because I want to be PAX ready, but I also just had a piece of cake earlier, so I'm definitely.
What kind of cake?
It was like this. It was chocolate and strawberry cake. It was like chocolate with like strawberry filling, and there was like
yum.
Yum. I had a brownie with caramel in it today. It just brightened my life.
I had egg whites and turkey sausage and 2 bananas.
Gross.
That's just
look at you. Hey, look at you, Corey, being responsible.
That's what I eat every morning for breakfast, and then I had a salad for lunch, and then I came home and had.
It's not a bad breakfast though.
No, and then I came home and had breakfast for dinner because, grocery shopping.
I don't know why I can never do breakfast for dinner. It's just not something that I enjoy.
Oh, it's the best.
Like I get it, and I love breakfast food. Don't get me wrong, but whenever it's dinner time and I see breakfast, I'm like, it's not morning. Why do I want this? I don't want this.
It's fine. By the way, pro tip for PAX: triple up the clothes that you take because there are some smelly people in there, and then you end up leaving and you feel like you smell
like those
or feel like those people, and then you like when I went the last time I took 2 showers a day at least, and one day we went back to the hotel because we were going to lunch with some people that we met up there, and I took a shower in between, so I ended up taking like 8 showers in 3 days because it just felt so gross.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, maybe you won't smell anything. Everyone will be wearing masks.
Oh yeah,
honestly, that's the main reason why I don't just jump to go to cons because I used to go to a bunch of I used to go to a bunch of anime cons, and just imagine
weeb.
I can. I mean, I went to E3 in 2018 and 2019. I went as the public, but I went. It wasn't. I don't think it was that bad when I went, but I can understand like it being like closer quarters like that. That's got to be much more difficult. Though, hopefully it won't be as bad. Again, this is going to be my first convention going as press, so this is going to be an experience. And we've got like a bunch of scheduled appointments there, and I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but I'm hoping they're not going to be as like close quartered as like going to booths just publicly. I'm hoping. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect.
You'll have a good time. I think you're probably going as non-Nintendo coverage, so I think you'll be fine at most booths. The Nintendo booth is always the busiest, which is what I'll be doing.
Is there a Nintendo booth at PAX? I
Mm-hmm.
thought there
Yeah,
is.
they're gonna have a
There
booth
is.
there.
It's E3 that they're not going to have any presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, I'll still hopefully stop by, but no, because of the Steam Deck, it's not really Nintendo based, so my focus isn't going to be hitting up Nintendo's booth at all. I
yeah,
have,
there's no just stopping by the Nintendo booth. You better get ready to stand in line for 2 hours, stay
yeah,
in
no,
there for as long as you can.
I'll have one of my reps do that. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm still scheduling appointments. I think the first one is literally 9 a.m. on the morning of the first day. I think it's
Yeah.
with Dear Villagers because they're announcing a new IP, and I wanted to get in there immediately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited, but also 9 a.m. is early.
Yeah, I'm talking to a couple people to try to get us to see some games that I don't know if I'm allowed to say or not. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I'll tell Stephanie off air, but um, yeah,
I'll stay in the
hopefully,
dark. It's fine.
yeah.
It's whatever.
Well, speaking of Steam Deck, Noah, what are you playing?
What am I playing right now?
Yes.
So since I just finished the review today, I was playing Fatal Frame, the
The
new
new
Fatal
one?
Frame. Yeah, and I'm not great when it comes to horror games. Like I'm very skittish, and it got me
Yep.
bad. That the atmosphere that they created in it is so well made. Like it legitimately. I was playing in the morning, lights were on, and I was freaking out. Like, they did they did a great job with it, and I would say maybe my only thing is like the controls are a little bit jank. Like
Mm,
it feels weird to control your character and the camera movement from time to time.
yeah.
But
Well, I
once
mean, that's
when
just
everything
Fatal Frame.
clicks,
That's not a Steam Deck problem.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, once everything just clicks and you're just in the game, you're in the story, in the atmosphere. It's wonderful. So I mean I think what is it $50? I think it released now.
Yeah. It's I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I'm
would
not
say
a
wait on a sale for it. Like I like the game a lot. Would I buy it? Probably, but I also have a problem with collecting games, so I would buy it no matter what. But it's an experience, and I would say like on sale would definitely be more worthwhile.
I I know a couple people are trying to get on Switch. I'm like, nah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
Anything.
it might be okay on Switch because on the Steam Deck it runs at 60 frames per second pretty easily. So I bet it can handle its own on Switch.
Yeah, I just at this point I'm really cautious about people buying things that don't say Nintendo on the label on the Switch at this point, unless it's like maybe an indie game, I guess, a
That's
smaller
fair.
indie game like Sea of Stars or something.
I can't wait for Sea of Stars
I
too.
know that
That
game
one,
looks cool.
I've talked to Sabotage a little bit about it, so I'm very
Hmm.
excited.
Yeah, I
And
actually emailed them yesterday about it. So,
yeah, I'm excited to see how it's going to how it's going to be when it comes out. I love the demo on the Switch,
mhm.
and I've already gone like talked to them about Steam Deck support, and they've already put me on the list for when the game is ready to have keys sent out for it. And I'm very excited. And it's probably going to be one of my favorite games this year, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, it's
Especially
gonna be.
since Chained Echoes last year was incredible. Like,
Yeah,
they did damn good work on that.
yeah.
Um,
I also want to know how Sea of Stars connects to the Messenger
ooh,
because they're in the same universe.
that's right. They
So
are.
the Messenger is
Now I
pretty
want to go
good.
back and play the Messenger.
You should play the Messenger again.
I
It's a
mean,
good one.
I want to. I want to, but I have so many games I still I need to get there. I think I'm still playing through it right now, but I'm doing a preview for Gripper,
Hmm.
which is essentially Think Fury, but you're on a motorcycle, and that's essentially what Gripper is.
Mm.
And it's a lot of fun, but I still need to write that one out. That'll either be today or tomorrow or Wednesday. But Dredge is also one that I've been playing a lot recently. I highly recommend uh, people check it out. It is such a good game. I love it.
It's
uh,
cool.
And I mean, I could go on. I play so many games now. I've been
Yeah,
playing a
I
lot.
mean, if you have something else you want to talk about, please.
Well, where do I begin? Um, I mean, I've been going back and forth with Wolong just to check up on it. And it's gotten more stable thanks to the preview build of SteamOS, so that one is more enjoyable. I'm starting to get Returnal to a stable 40 frames per second without breaking the deck, which is exciting because I don't think anyone has covered it or even reported any sort of performance gains from it, because the reason why it doesn't perform well is due to a GPU load, which is not easy to reduce through, any extra means. So being able to do it the way I have and get it down to a playable frame rate is really exciting. So I've been playing that. Uh, I need to start. I was sent the Castlevania expansion for Dead Cells.
Mm.
I need to get on that.
So
Bravery.
good.
Yeah, it looks incredible, and I love Castlevania, so I was very excited that like I didn't know I was in contact with the PR rep or the PR reps that were handling the game. So when I got an email, I was like, "Oh, okay." So that was really exciting, and I know once I started, I'm not going to be able to stop. So I'm trying to do a little bit before getting into it.
Yeah.
Um,
Cat.
Bravery.
Oh, I
Mhm.
was going to comment on Dead Cells real quick. So everybody knows I hate roguelikes and procedurally generated stuff and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But Dead Cells, it will. I actually played about 15 hours of Dead Cells, which is a lot for a roguelike for me.
Mhm.
Uh, but Dead Cells will always hold a special place in my heart because it was the first game I ever covered, quote unquote, as press with the old group that I used to podcast with,
Mhm.
and I got to interview their developer at the at the Nintendo booth at PAX. I interviewed him, and that's still one of the highest viewed videos I ever did. And
Mhm.
so Dead Cells will always be important to me in that way. And I hope the Castlevania stuff is good. I really do.
No, I've heard great things, and it looks incredible. I'm very excited to get into it. Um, Other than that, I did just get a game that I need to start covering: Bravery and Greed. Team 17 has been one of my favorite developers to cover on the Steam, or publishers, I guess would be more accurate, to cover on the Steam Deck. Like their games so far have just been hit after hit for me. I've been loving it. Dredge is one of their games. Bravery and Greed. Sunday Gold was one of my favorite games of last year. Um, Ship of Fools was really good as well. And it's just one thing after another with them. Trying to think. I'm sure if I pulled up my deck, I could just look through and immediately say exactly which games I've been playing. Oh, the Trails to Azure. I played that for a hot minute as well. Which that is the Steam Deck is probably the best way to play that series. That series is so text heavy, but it is fantastic. Like, if you enjoy JRPGs at all, there's no reason you shouldn't be playing the Trail series. It's just so well made, and I love the way that all the games kind of connect to each other. They all have their own like individual arcs, but there's so many little references that you don't need to know the other games to enjoy the game. But if you played the other ones, you're gonna be like, "Oh my, look at that! That's so cool!" So, in Azure, like the first like 30-45 minutes of the game, they already reference like two other games in the series. And I thought I just thought it was awesome.
That's cool. I like when games do that.
Right? I attribute it like the way I describe it, think of it kind of like the MCU of JRPGs.
Mm.
That's kind of the way they operate. Like they have a lot of guests. Like I think the sixth or seventh character introduced in this game, Azure, is one of the big characters from the second Trails game, and the one that just released is number 5 in the series. So it was just like an immediate. They just bring him in out of nowhere, like with any sort of context, just like. And it's not like you need the context, but seeing him after playing the other games, it's like, oh, holy crap, look at that. It's a cool way to integrate. all the stories together, even though it spans across, I want to say like 9 or 10 different games right now, and they're coming out with 3 others or translating them and bringing them over now.
That's cool. Uh, is that all you've been playing? Well, that you want to
But
talk about? Or?
I mean, I can always find more, but I mean, it would be an endless list of tons of games that I'm constantly trying and playing. So I'll probably stop it there just for everyone's sanity.
All right. Stephanie, what are you playing?
Well, do you want to hear about Dead Cells DLC Return to Castlevania? Because I finally get to talk about it. So I played it and I loved it. I mean, it's Dead Cells is already great. I also am not a big fan of roguelikes, but the gameplay is almost flawless from the base game, and just adding the Castlevania flavor to it was great. I love the sprites for Alucard and all that, and the two biomes, the castle outskirts and Dracula's castle. It just really brings me back. I love seeing the old enemies return, and the new weapons that you have, like the Bible and the cross and the holy water. It's just an amazing combination of Dead Cells and the Castlevania IP. So, put a lot of hours into it. It's just a lot of fun. And I played that on my Steam Deck, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Oh, yeah. And then speaking of Steam Deck, I tried to play Romancevania, which is not as good.
Tried.
Well, here's the thing. I wanted to play it on my Steam Deck, so I paid for it. I downloaded it, and I got like 5 minutes in, and it just was a blank white screen. So what Romancevania is? It's
I was gonna
since
ask. I have no idea.
it's supposed to be a Castlevania-like game, but it's really not. But it actually more so is a dating sim romance game, but it's like a so it's a parody off of Castlevania because you play as
Gotcha.
Dracula, okay?
Mhm.
And you go and you fight your skeleton minions because they're making fun of you for being dumped and you were like in a depressive state for 100 years. And because you're in a depressive state for 100 years, the whole balance of life and death is whatever.
Mhm.
So this death guy is like, dude, you need to get laid. You need to like get back into your groove. So we're gonna put you on a dating show and like pick someone so you can go and start like killing people. It's just like so insane, this premise. And that's what made me get it because I'm like, I need to see how ridiculous this is. So the Castlevania part where you walk around and kill it's awful. It's absolutely terrible and it's atrocious. But I was looking forward to the hilarious hijinks of being a Dracula and dating. Um, but again, like the part where it transitions to the dating show, like here we go. It just keeps getting stuck on that white screen. Like I don't know what happens. I don't know if it's because it's frozen or whatever. Like I rebooted it a second time and it got stuck at the same place. So I
Have
was
you,
yeah,
out of curiosity, have you tried other Proton versions? Try
no.
launching it with like, okay, I'll send you. We wrote, or I wrote a guide about this community based version of the Proton compatibility layer that could fix it. So I'll
Okay.
I'll send that over to you afterwards. But
Appreciate it.
um, I think it would work. It's helped a lot with like cutscene issues. If you ever play a game and there's supposed to be a cutscene, but instead it's like one of those old like rainbow CRT screens.
Mhm.
This the Proton GE usually fixes it.
See, it
So
must
I
be
can
it
try.
because I think that kind of was what it was. I think it was supposed to be a cutscene,
Mhm.
or a transition of some sort. So that's awesome because again, if really great games can play well, Resident Evil 3 on the Steam Deck, they can run Romancevania, okay?
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. So I'll send that over to you afterwards.
Yay! So who knows? Stay tuned if I keep playing Romancevania, but Dead Cells Return to Castlevania, much better. Highly recommend. and then what else? Still playing Hogwarts Legacy, even though I beat the main storyline. As I sent a text to wrong side. To you guys, I got the art book and the making of in the mail today.
Stephanie, did you see what they announced today, or what they're releasing today?
What?
They're
What?
releasing a hardback special edition strategy guide.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
It's
it
been a
by
while
Piggyback
since
or Dark Horse?
It's probably by Dark Horse. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to look it up though, because it matches the art book, and I'm just hold on. I'm looking it up.
I'm surprised. I have not heard of hardcover strategy guides in a long time. Like it's
Mm.
been a hot minute since I've
Well,
since I've even.
the paperback. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Oh no. Oh, there we go.
It's my camera. It does that.
The paperback guide is out now, and it's $13.
Wait, is it an official paperback guide? Because I've bought paperback guides that weren't official, and I was very disappointed.
Hogwarts Legacy, the official game guide, paperback.
Oh.
Sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Who's publishing this?
Because Piggyback's the one that did the Breath of the Wild game guide, and even though
Scholastic is publishing this.
okay, listen, I'm all about game guides. I'm all about like that old school, like physical for the artwork and stuff.
Yeah, but they announced.
I still treasure my like the Zelda encyclopedia, the 3 edition. I have that over there. I treasure that.
Yeah, let me see. They announced that they're releasing a hardback one though.
Okay.
So,
well, but yeah, so because the game is just so huge, like I think, Hogwarts Legacy is just going to be a game that I will pick away at the side quests throughout the year. But I did beat the main campaign because we're recording like a boss rush book club for it. So, and then I just played Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon today because the demo dropped today, and I actually went through the entire demo. So I got pulled into it to try because of the art style. It's very fairy tale storybook like with the watercolor pages. It's more of an adventure puzzler, which is more my style than the traditional Bayonetta. Yeah, why not? And it's a demo. So the good news, it is pretty. Soundtrack's great. The controls actually work pretty well. I was a little concerned about because you control both Bayonetta and the demon at the same time. And I thought that would be like a mind fuck, to be honest with you. But the way they lay out the controls, it's not bad.
Is it kind of like Astral Chain?
How what?
Kind of like Astral Chain in that sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's like that.
I was going to say, another great game uses that control scheme is Astral Chain.
Yeah. But the downside is, and I think it's just comes with the genre that it is. It's very slow paced. Like Bayonetta kind of moves a little slow. Like there's no sprint. Like I like to, I don't know, move fast. And there's a lady that's narrating the story while you're playing, which is great. But at the same time, I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So it's a bit of a slow burn for me. And I kind of found myself like waiting around, kind of losing my patience, which could be my fault as a result of kind of our generation or day and age where we want everything to be like super fast and quick. But I did go from maybe buying this game to probably buying this game, which is a good thing where it's moving in the right direction. But again, it's with so many great games coming out, like the because it releases March 17th, the competition is RE4, which is the following week. As soon as RE4 comes out, no offense, Bayonetta, like clearly there's a
yeah. Also, our next book club game, so that probably takes priority.
probably, but I still encourage for those that have a Nintendo Switch to take advantage of the demo for Bayonetta Origins. It's one of those things where you're not really going to understand if you're going to like it or not unless you play it, because it's a game that's not like the original titles, Bayonetta 1 through 3, which is kind of a curious choice, right? Because I feel like fans of the Bayonetta franchise, they're not going to like this. It's a completely different game style, gameplay. I just don't see it unless they love the franchise so much they're willing to kind of overlook. Pacing is different. The pacing is whatever. So I'm not sure
Yeah,
who it's
yeah.
meant
I saw
for.
the preview. I saw the preview for it, and I was like, nah, not my thing.
Yeah.
I
Well, they're
mean,
really trying to sell the difference, though. I mean, everything they've shown, they're like, they've literally said this isn't like the other Bayonetta games. It's it's a weird spinoff, right? I mean, I don't know.
right, no, it's true. I mean, this is why I gravitated toward, because they probably targeted me, the person that doesn't usually play Bayonetta, but I like the storybook and narrative, blah blah blah. But like, what happens after that? Is this just a one-off? Because I hate to say it, even if I like Bayonetta Origins, it's probably not going to change my mind about the type of game the regular Bayonetta is, which just happens
Hmm.
to not be my taste. I'm not going to magically like it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Which isn't a criticism. I mean, if they put out a well-designed, well-run, beautiful game, then that's great. I don't know how successful commercially it's going to be.
Yeah. I wonder. Platinum Platinum just needs something. By the way, talk about a series that would really benefit from not being on Switch, probably Bayonetta. Man,
Yeah.
Bayonetta 3, the character models look great, but the environments look like, man, somebody put some PS2 on my Switch, I think. So,
Well, hopefully they'll be able to do something kind of like what No More Heroes did, where three
mhm,
was a Switch exclusive for a bit, and now it's on PC.
mhm.
Mm,
Hopefully they'd be able to do something like that. That's going to be a tough one, just because Nintendo
yeah.
Yeah.
when it
I
comes to
wonder.
Bayonetta. But I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, that's
Just
probably a
bring all of
situation where
them,
Sega would probably have to buy Nintendo out of the contract at some point because Sega
which who
technically
knows
still
if
owns
that'll
the IP.
happen.
Mm,
Yeah, who knows if that'll happen.
yeah. But I'm really proud of myself. I'm actually playing a lot and diverse group of games where, I don't know, for the past year, it's always been like, I'm playing this one game. I'm playing this one game. So that's what I've been playing.
Nice. Laron?
Okay. Well, I'm fine. Well, I'm on the final boss for Dead Space. So there,
Nice.
we made it. We made it. And as soon as I beat the boss, I'm going right back in on New Game Plus. So there's that. The game's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. I have been like taking my dear sweet time because there's so much new stuff to the game. It being a remake, like the game is still the game, but at the same time, there's so much new stuff. One thing I wasn't aware of, because now you get to backtrack. Like you can clear out necromorphs. That doesn't mean like there still won't be necromorphs in that area when you come back. Like they
Oh,
it's not like respawns. It's new necromorphs. So like it's a thing. So like it triggers me. So yeah, there's that. But I'm finally at the end of the game. Now, so I get to see the original ending before I go play New Game Plus and see the new ending.
Mm,
That they have in store.
yes.
Uh, been playing a lot of Mario and Luigi on the Game Boy Advance Switch side. I gotta say, like Game Boy Advance, like Corey, Stephanie, you guys know, like I was begging for Game Boy Advance to hit the Switch,
mm,
so like I'm enjoying it right now, and unfortunately, like Metroid Fusion still ain't there. So yeah,
It was there for me when I
uh,
just turned it on. You got to scroll all the way to the top.
I
It's
will, I will hurt you.
wow.
I will hurt you.
Laron. If it's there, you
Why?
have to buy me a Steam Deck.
Why are you gaslighting me? Okay, all right. Here
I
here
literally
here we go. Here we go.
You got to scroll all the way
Here
to
we
the
go.
top and say, "There's
Scroll.
something new to play," and then you
I
hit
am
A.
I am scrolling all the way to the top.
Are you connected to the internet?
Yes.
Did you do the console update?
Console update.
Yes, the update to the console. Are you new here?
Obviously, I'm new to the Switch.
Ugh.
Console update. Why
Yeah,
would it be a console? Like, the thing just
there
had
was
a
one
console
too.
update. Yes, the game just had a console update yesterday.
Yeah, like 2 days ago. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Your system is up to date.
Great. Did you download the GBA update, or did you just hit start software?
I hit start. Wait, it didn't tell me there was a. It didn't tell me there was an update for that software for the software.
Oh, I have mine to ask me automatically.
Options, software update via internet.
I think we might crack the case.
Yeah, that thunk you heard was just me dropping my Switch. Yes, it was.
You know, Laron, if you had a Steam Deck, you probably could have been playing Metroid
Ooh.
Fusion a year ago in
Emulation
handheld.
is pretty great.
Yeah. You're right. Because everybody knows here I jailbreak all my handhelds anyway. Like the only reason why I haven't jailbroken my Switch yet is because I'm like, I should get a second Switch before I jailbreak this one.
That's what I did. I have my original Switch that's jailbroken. Then I have the OLED.
Mhm.
It is the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, I have
See,
my launch Switch downstairs.
See, jailbreaking the original Switch was not reason enough for me to get the OLED.
Man,
No, the screen was my go. As soon as they said it was OLED, I was convinced.
mhm.
There's nothing that would stop me from OLED.
I mean, yeah, I'm an OLED guy myself. Yeah, but I don't know why I just haven't. I don't know. Like it's just one of those things. Like like should I? I don't know. Like I probably will.
at this point, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I will probably get another Switch as soon as the next console's announced, just to keep in the box until,
See,
I like to have a fresh console.
That's the thing, and why is there an extra like $10-$20 like for the Splatoon version? I don't understand why the extra money?
Because
it's
it's purple
limited
and yellow
edition.
and translucent, and it's got all the cool Splatoon things on it. That's
Mhm.
$20 worth of work they had to do that console. They had little kids in China chisel those out.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he said it. He said it.
Then that $20 goes for the year's worth of food that they give them.
Oh jeez.
Oh my god.
Now I'm just sad.
Can we move on, please?
Yeah. That's all I've been playing. Like I will probably be in my bed playing Metroid Fusion when we end the show tonight. So there's that.
Oh, man.
Oh, and it updated.
Yep. Is it there?
Here we. Hold on.
A live read at Laron's. Laron's game.
This is like, oh, there's something new to play. This is,
So that might be it.
You know what? This is Boss Rush history right here because I've displayed so much Switch time on any of the Boss Rush podcasts. New. You better give me my damn game. No, I don't want to play Mario 3.
Why not? It's a great game.
It's a shame.
That's not what I'm here for.
Game Boy Advance version is a great version.
There we go. Got it.
There you go. Good job, Laron. Proud of you.
Okay.
You did it.
All right. Signing off. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
It's Metroid 4 though. Come on.
That's fair.
All right. Yeah, but that's all I've been playing. I did download some updates for Monster Hunter Rise because I didn't need to get back on that. Like a friend of mine has started gloating that he's catching up to me. He was like, "Hey, what master rank are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm master rank 151." He's like, "Oh, never mind."
It's fair.
Oh, I could have already been master rank 200 if I hadn't stopped playing it to play Dead Space.
Well, for me, I've been playing more Hogwarts Legacy. I need to stop dicking around and just finish the game because I get so distracted. I have like 20 side missions. I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna go follow Sebastian down here and go, and then I'm like, no, follow the yellow stuff, and you'll do the main missions.
Follow the yellow stuff. Wow, that does not even sound.
I know.
The infamous phrase.
Yep, that's the title of the episode. The yellow stuff. Follow the yellow stuff. Yeah, and I love the game. I wish I had more time to do all the side stuff before book club next week or 2 weeks, whenever, one of these days. But yeah, I'm so in love with the game, and when I finish the game and I want to go back and do the side stuff and kind of wrap it up. Nothing really new to say though, really. I've also been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, everybody. This great game.
No way.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I have 9 best friends now.
Hold up.
Yep.
9?
Yep.
That's like 9 more than I have in real life.
I know.
There's no
if
way.
you get 15 best friends, you get an achievement on Xbox. Okay.
Oh, hold on. Give me a second. I need to download Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yes. See? Talked him into it. Nothing really new to report there though. I'm going to play a half hour before I go to bed, and then it's 2:00 in the morning. And you're like, I wonder why I'm so tired the next morning for work.
It's a guilty pleasure.
It is. Oh my gosh. So I'm literally farming the system. Like I've found the most like the cheapest plant that you can sell for the most amount of money, and I've just created this big plot of land, and I'm just gaining coins and gaining coins and gaining coins. I've updated Moana's boat so she can go fish for me. I've updated Scrooge's store all the way. I've updated Remy's restaurant all the way, and I've updated my house all the way. Now I just got to unlock all of Goofy's little stupid carts. Man, so
you're
good.
all set.
I am. So I've been playing that, but the big thing, obviously, Destiny 2 Lightfall, the second story mission for the season was released yesterday. It's very good, but the thing everybody's talking about is the secret mission that also was revealed today. And boy, do you get a really cool exotic glaive out of that. For those who don't know, it's like this big long staff thing that you can shoot stuff out of. It's kind of cool. It's a melee and projectile weapon. And yeah, it's super cool. I don't really want to ruin it for anybody because I know a lot of people who listen to Tower Casuals also listen to this and haven't played it yet, judging by the Discord. But that mission is super cool. It's one of the better missions that they've done in a while, probably since like Presage or the Outbreak Perfected mission, which was super cool also. I gotta give it to Bungie, man. They really, I know the campaign was kind of underwhelming for me, but the seasonal stuff, really good. So I'm still kind of worried how they're going to wrap up the story in a year, though. But that's just me, because they keep opening new threads to the story.
Well, is it possible that they're going to use those threads and kind of lean into the sequel?
I mean that's some of the theory. Some, like, they're going to leave some of the threads open to kind of continue after Final Shape, but also like the raid is going to answer a lot of these questions, and it's just like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? I don't know why you're opening so many story threads now. Just stop. Let's tie up this one before you start a new one.
They're gluttons for punishment.
I know. I know. Neomuna is such a cool space too. I love the colors, and I love the Vex network that you kind of go into. It's cool because you kind of go into like this digitized space, and it's all these blue and greens and bright pinks and kind of like Tron-esque areas. Super cool. So, but that's kind of all I've been playing. I should probably play something new by next week. I know a lot of people are tired of hearing about Destiny and probably Hogwarts Legacy at this point, but we're playing what we're playing, guys. You can't help
Exactly.
it. Okay.
Hey, you enjoy what you enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know. Plus, like, I might take Power Block off this weekend so I can play some other stuff. We'll see.
You know, despite what everybody thinks, if you're an adult, especially adult with kids, not necessarily you have to have kids, but just adulting plus or minus kids, there's a lot of stuff that we have to do during the day aside from gaming. Sad
True.
truth,
Mhm.
but it's
That's
the
true.
truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
And
worked for
also,
11.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I worked for 11 hours today because there's an event
Gross.
this week,
Gross.
and when there's an event, I have to work my normal time. Plus, the event is out west,
Mm,
and so I have to work on event time. And the last presentation didn't end until 7:15, and I'm the social media person for the event. So, you know,
That sounds like a nightmare.
oh, it's really fun actually. But it's just my point is like it's a long day.
Oh yeah, no. I think we all have those. Like I work in my full-time job almost every day, like 8.5, 9 hours, and then I come home and I'm just writing.
Yeah.
That's I don't really use free time. Like I'm lucky I don't have kids or anything like that right now, but like there's just so much I have to do, and then upkeep for my house and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pro tip: if you want to do creative stuff, don't have children.
Yeah.
All right.
Shoot, don't have
Live
a
alone.
life.
Live alone.
Don't have a
Don't
life.
have a life.
Yeah.
Who needs
No,
a life?
I'm for real. Like I feel like with my schedule and stuff. Like okay, so I work, and I work a typical job. I work a 9 to 5. Like my job doesn't demand a lot from me. Like I'm IT, I'm tech. Like maybe like once a month do I get a headache from my job. Like yeah, my job is stressing me out right now. But like beyond that, it's one of those things where it's like I do the job, but then the other crap that I have to do, and the other crap that I want to do, like like podcasting and stuff, and writing for the Boss Rush writing team, which I haven't done jack shit that since January.
I know.
Like like it's like man, like and then like and there was like, well, Dead Space came out January 27th. What is taking you so long to beat it? I'm like, I have shit to do, and I have a relationship to cultivate.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Especially as an adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
It's not like my significant other isn't a gamer. But but still, got to make the time.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple games I want to start. I'll probably at least start one of them by next week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Got some time. Also, I have to list all this stuff that's behind me that you can't see, so I can make some money. Also, have like 50 Pokemon cards to put on that on that website that Stephanie told me about. So.
See, at least you've been collecting crap to sell. Like I hear you and Stephanie talking about this now. I'm like, man, what the hell was I thinking? Not collecting shit.
Yeah.
Just being a nerd and opening all this shit up. Like
lame.
Like this Jetfire transformer right here.
I had that.
Nice.
I stole it from my cousin. And by stole it, I mean he left it at our house and I never gave it back.
Or like this Eagle Moss Pathfinder, like like from Star Trek.
Hold on. It's right here. I got it. This whole box is Pokemon cards. So.
What was I doing with my life? I could have just had like money just to.
Yeah, but it's hard to really tell what's going to actually become something that could sell. I mean, I thought Beanie Babies were going to be a big deal, and
they were for about 10 minutes.
Well, okay, but different. Like
it was a nice 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie, this is the stack of cards that I'm putting on the website, on that trader website. So we'll see.
Good luck.
I don't know. Maybe
hey, you just need a couple good hits. Like I said, 2 cards, $400. That's all it takes.
I know. I think there's about 45 cards here. So
there you go.
Plus 3 full starter sets from the original starter sets.
Damn. That's good.
So I kept a bunch. I gave a bunch of worthless ones to my nephews and some to my daughter, and the rest are goodbye. Speaking of goodbyes, I think we're going to get out of here.
It's a way to segue into
I set it up. Yeah, I set it up that way. Noah, thank you for joining us tonight. This was a really great, not only informative episode, but just I am like really like I have the Steam Deck page opened up right now, and I just kind of like I'm looking at it, thinking like maybe.
Just teasing himself.
Well, if you have any other future questions, and if any of you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'll give you my Discord. You can add me, ask me whatever you want to, and I'll get back. I have no problem with that.
Oh, thank you. We're so grateful.
Yeah. You want to tell everybody where they can find you and where to find your website and all that stuff?
So, I mean, the main place you can find us is our website, teamdeckhq.com, that's where we post all of our articles, reviews, all of that. Social media-wise, we are most active on Twitter, and I'm the person that runs it, and that's why it's so active, because I don't know how to stop talking. So that would probably be the safest bet if you want to actually get in contact with us on social media. that's going to be the best way to do it. We also have a Discord server where you're welcome to join. We always talk about Steam Deck stuff on there. We give away games, and it's just a good time overall. Just brought on 2 more moderators, so we plan to start hosting some more events on there leading up to a decently big one at the end of the month that I can't talk about just yet, but I'm finalizing the details of tonight. And those are going to be the main places you can find us.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for taking the time to come hang out with us for a couple hours or so. Really appreciate it. This was great. Also, thanks, Stephanie, for finding such a great guest. Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Boss Rush Network, at Boss Rush Media, and at Boss Rush Podcast. If you want to rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that'd be great. 5 stars, please. If not, don't bother. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. Until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one.
The Boss Rush Podcast is a product of Boss Rush Media, LLC, and is recorded from our headquarters in Akron, Ohio. This show is produced, written, and directed by me, Corey Dierig. My co-hosts are Stephanie Klimov, LaRon Dawkins, and Edward Barnell. You can find Stephanie at Klimov_author on Twitter and Instagram, as well as on the EXPcast. You can find LaRon at Exodus803 on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, and also on Crossroads, the video game podcast. You can find Edward at ThatRetroCode on Twitter and Instagram, as well as hosting Nintendo Power Block. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at IamCoreyInHD, and find me hosting Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast, and co-hosting Nintendo Power Block. Find the Boss Rush Podcast on all social media platforms at Boss Rush Podcast. You can also follow Boss Rush Media and Boss Rush Network on all major social media platforms. Join the Boss Rush Network Discord and Facebook groups to interact with other friends and fans. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.